All right. Good morning, everyone. How is everybody doing today? Hope everybody's okay out there and having a good week. So first up, I just want to say thank you again to everyone that's been donating to help keep Ocean Stories online. Like we talked about the other day, all the funds that we raise beyond what we need to run Ocean Stories are being donated to Heart for Cabo. For those that missed it, Heart for Cabo is running an incredible program here in Cabo right now where they're creating food baskets for our local communities that are out of work or in poverty due to the tourism being shut down. It's a really incredible initiative. Basically, every $100 that we donate to them brings a week's worth of food and necessary supplies to 10 families that currently have nothing. So it's really, really cool. Next week, we've got something really cool. Shark Week's coming back to Ocean Stories. So definitely get ready for that. We've got some awesome shark talks coming up. We kick off the week with Dr. Mauricio Hoyas. He's one of the world's top great white shark experts. You might have seen him before on Discovery Channel or National Geographic or in IMAX. He's an incredible human, and we're really, really excited to have him on Ocean Stories. Then on Tuesday, we're going to kick off something new. We've got a new project coming out called Coffee Break as part of Ocean Stories. And on Tuesday, we kick it off with shark conservationist Liz Parkinson. Coffee Break is a different type of Ocean Story. We're gonna start doing them once per week. It kind of skips the normal presentations that we do and go right into more of a casual chat or interview to look at some of the human stories behind the awesome guests that we've had on Ocean Stories before. We're going to talk to them about how they got started, what their journey was like, moments that inspired them, or how we can get involved in the projects they work on, or how we can get in starting our own projects, and a lot more. But what's even cooler is what we're doing is we just made a post today on Instagram and Facebook where basically everyone can get involved. We want to see what questions you'd like us to ask them live. So you can post it in the comments on these posts on Instagram and Facebook, and make sure to keep an eye on it and everything like that. Then after Coffee Break, we get into a little bit of shark romance with National Geographic explorer Tanya Palamete. She's going to take us on a fun adventure into the world of shark and ray reproduction. Then Friday, shark scientist Frida Lara is coming back to join me for a very special presentation about a very special shark, the Megalodon. Frida and I are currently building a presentation to explore not only the Megalodon, but also some of the other weirdly bizarre ancient sharks throughout history that once roamed our oceans. Then we're going to finish up Shark Week on May 9th with Dive Ninjas. They're offering a special Project Aware shark conservation course online. Spaces are a bit limited on that, so make sure you get a spot before it's sold out. So, but first, before we can get ready for Shark Week, let's take a trip into the mind-blowing world of some of the ocean's tiniest creatures. The rest of this week, we're dedicating it to macro. For those that aren't familiar with macro, it's a term that we use to explain all the crazy tiny critters that inhabit our oceans. It's quite a bizarre but incredibly beautiful world. Tomorrow we have an awesome talk on blackwater diving from World Underwater Photographer of the Year and one of the pioneers of blackwater diving in Palau, Richard Barndon. If you don't know what blackwater diving is, you definitely want to check this talk out. It is kind of like an alien world that lives in our oceans. It's really beautiful and really bizarre. And for those that do know what it is, I'm guaranteeing you probably already have signed up, so cool on that. Then Friday, pro photographer and instructor Romina Bayer is taking us on a journey to explore some of Indonesia's incredible macro life, as well as teaching us some tips for shooting macro photography along the way. But before that, today we have a super special guest joining us from here in Baja out of La Paz. So good morning, Afe. How are you doing today?
Hello, good morning. Very good. Thank you for inviting me.
Awesome. We're glad to have you here with us today. So Afe is a marine biologist studying nudibranchs. She's also a PADI ambassador diver and a bunch of other stuff. The list goes on and on. But today she's going to teach us about the incredible world of nudibranchs. So without any further delay, I hand it over to you. Let me stop sharing my screen and you can share yours and we'll get started.
Thank you. Okay, so let me put this. Compartir.
Perfect. All
right. Okay. Good. Finally. Okay. So, hello and good morning, everyone. and thank you for having me. I am Afelandra, and I am from Guadalajara, Jalisco, where the tequila and mariachi are from. I am very Mexican, as you could notice by my accent. Sorry for my English in advance, but I will do my best this morning. I am a natural lover, which makes me very passionate about protecting the environment. I'm protective and reusing and recycling. I studied biology for a few years in Guadalajara, but as soon as I got the chance, I moved to La Paz to study marine biology. The sea has always been my eternal love. Even before I turned 2 months old, I had already visited the ocean with my dad. I am also a big admirer of the sunset. It's my favorite hour of the day. And La Paz is a paradise when it comes to mind-blowing spectacles above and below the tide. Living here has given me countless encounters with majestic creatures such as orcas, sperm whales, whale sharks, different kinds of whales, whale sharks, no, I told you that. Different kinds of whales, different kinds of sharks, dolphins, sea lions, and the enormous schools of mobulas, just to mention it a few. Remember, it is the aquarium of the world. For my marine biology dissertation thesis, I focused my attention on the lack of information of Nudibranchs fauna for Conception Bay, located in the middle of the section of the Gulf of California. My sampling approach was based on the use of artificial substrate, which resulted in a novel method for Nudibranch research. So with help from Dr. Angel Valdez in Pomona, California, I was able to distinguish 2 completely new species of Nudibranchs found in my samples. Once I finished my bachelor degree in marine biology, I became a PhD instructor and eventually got awarded the PhD ambassador status. Today, I am one of the few Mexican females IDC staff instructor with various specialties. But in fact, one of my favorite times diving was during my take dive certification, where I submerged to 50 meters and set my own depth record. Okay, but enough about my background. I'm here to talk to you a little bit about Nudibranchs. Maybe introduce them to some of you, but probably most of you have already heard of them or know something curious about them. So the Nudibranch are mollusks from the same family as the clever octopus, the beautiful snails, and the mystical squid. Although they have totally lost their shell and they show exposed gill or branchia, hence their name. Nudi for nude, branchia for gills, means naked gills. They can be found worldwide from cold water, warm tropical waters to the cold waters of the Arctic circles, no? From the very shallow coastal water to the depths of the ocean. So they are very specialized invertebrates. Each species eating very specific prey and living in very specific places. So they even have great defensive mechanisms to make up for their lack of shell and therefore protection. For example, some produce toxic chemical to avoid being swallowed. The bright coloration of many nudibranchs normally indicate the presence of toxins, but in some cases, it simply implies that it may be poisonous. Others exhibit the cryptic coloration, which are patterns that make the animals invisible to the potential predator. In most cases, cryptic species blend it with the substrate, with the normally live, although some species are available to take pigments from their prey and acquire the same coloration. A few species can even combine, can even use the combination of two defensive systems, such as a cryptic and chemical at the same time. So the cryptic, they use it more for fishes, and the chemical use it more for the crabs or the sea stars. Nudibranchs are normally prey of anemones, hydroids, or the other cnidarians with stinging cells. Can store these cells called nematocysts in specialized sacs on their backs and eventually use them for their own defense. This is super cool. And similarly, a nudibranch that feeds on hydroids can store the symbiotic macroalgae and later in life depend on the sugar produced by photosynthesis for energy. Imagine being able to keep your foods powered. That will be amazing. Most nudibranchs are benthic. I mean, live in the floor, in the floor, no? But few are not, like a famous blue dragon, which travel large areas with oceanic currents as planktonic nudibranchs. They usually travel with symbiotic jellyfish, like that you can see this circular is the jellyfish, as the scene, and yeah, they travel together, no? This nudibranch called blue dragon, but the scientific name is the Glaucus atlanticus. Many nudibranchs are too small to be seen by the human eye, but that is why it isn't recommended to use magnifying glass when searching for them. But nudibranchs are well known to divers and naturalists because of their remarkable beauty. Their color patterns are their amazing and extravagant shapes. Challenge the human imagination. Different colors, different shapes, no? Super colorful. They have always been a treasure for underwater photographers due to their jaw-dropping coloration and their slow movement. So that's why they are really good models. The search for potentially useful natural products in marine animals brought the scientists to study the nudibranch's ability to produce toxic chemicals. In the recent years, these chemicals are being researched by the National Cancer Institute of the USA for potential pharmaceutical use, and several are in clinical trials. Like they can be like antifungal, antibacterial, and another really cool properties that they have. Nudibranchs are very unique, but their identification can be quite challenging at times. So, how you can identify them? You should always consider the body shape, okay? This is the first part. So the color of the body, the color patterns, the body structures, like I put here rhinophores, oral tentacles, some have, some not, the serrata, the branchia. So the rhinophores is the sensor tentacle, okay? And you can see the different, I mean, this one, they are the same, but in all these slate, but in some others, you can see the difference. So the other important thing is the branchia, breathing structure. And sometimes the branchia is like this, but some nudibranchs present the other structure close to the branchia, and this is you can identify a difference. Just some nudibranchs have the serrata, which are the finger-like respiratory organs with digestive gland. So they are very, very interesting animals. So, but in many cases, these features are not enough, and an internal anatomical or genetic review must be done. So the photo ID has to play an important part in measuring species distribution. Since no one person can be everywhere, unfortunately, we need cooperation to enrich our knowledge. Your photo can provide new information, so many recommendations to use. So my recommendation to use is if you spot a Nudibranch, take the photos from all possible angles, like in this slide. No, to ensure the with this we can ensure the positive ID and to challenge your underwater photographer skills. The most common mistake is like for example, in this slide, is like they just see like the same colors, no, but this organism is too different. So looks like same, but if just very focused in the patterns, you can see the difference. So it's like the tips that I can tell you, no? Another very common mistake when trying to identify nudies is to think that all sea slugs are nudibranch, but many are actually only related to them. So you can see here, a lot of people think that the Mexican dancer is the nudibranch, but actually no, it's the sea slug, is the Elysia diomedea, and they are in the other group, the Sacoglossa. So, okay, where can you find them? I think this is the cool tips. Look in areas with low light, between the rocks, or in small caves and crevices. You can also look in patches of their known food, like anemones, corals, hydras, and sponge. And especially keep your eyes open for the egg mass. If you see some, there must be some adult being nearby. So in this video, I tried to show you how the nudibranchs put the egg mass. This nudibranch is the new species that I found when I make my research. And if you can notice, they put the eggs like flower. They are super cute. So now to wrap it up, I am starting to get involved in a novel project called Environment DNA, which can give us a clear view of a species in a certain area by simply collecting water for the environment. The only problem is they need to know DNA sequence of each animal to match what's found in the environment sample. So I have made my mission to collect and sequence Nudibranch species that haven't not been sequenced yet, to include their information in the Environment DNA project. If everyone would like to help, you are more than welcome to join in the research, in the search. So please contact me. And okay, this is all. I hope you are enjoyed my summary of the wonderful, colorful world of Nudibranchs. Happy bubbles!
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ave.
Oh, thank you.
It's really, really great. So everyone, if you have any questions or anything you'd like to ask, we can put them in the Q&A box. If you click the little Q&A button at the bottom of your screen, and we'll start to read out some questions and all that. So let's see. All right, we've already got a bunch of questions coming in. So first one comes from Emela. She says, what are the rhinophores for? Like, what is their function?
Okay, the function is they can, it's the sensorial structure. So they can detecting if something, maybe predators are close to them, or like for the how do you say, like transportation, because they don't have eyes, so they are just sensitive structures that they need for your translation to
Perfect.
senses chemicals.
Yeah, awesome. So Maggie asks, how do nudibranchs affect the ecosystems that they live in?
Okay, really good question. They are very important in the environment, because in the ecosystem, because they are carnivorous, and they can maintain the how do you say, like the they can maintain the population. Okay, so for example, if it's a lot of some nudibranchs eat a sponge. If it's a lot of a sponge, and they cannot the corals, they cannot have the area, so they maintain the balance in the ecosystem. No.
Awesome. Yeah, really good. It's amazing that
Sorry,
something.
yeah, sorry, it's a little bit hard to answer in English because
Okay.
I have the but I try to do my best. Okay,
No, you're
but
doing
I
awesome.
hope you understand me. If not, I can write them. If they have, if it's no.
No, it's great. Really good.
Okay.
So the Sue asks, how do you identify that a nudibranch is a new species?
Okay, so normally you need to talk with different researchers in the worldwide, like the specialized, no? And I send the photos okay, first I collected and I try to identify, so I cannot. And after that, I send my photos to the experts, and they and I concluded that is the new species because they cannot find it in his data. So after that, I went to Pomona with the really good doctor and specialist. So we make the DNA research. We make the internal. Remember, I told you like that sometimes you can identify the organism just for the body structure, for the external, but sometimes it's not that possible. So you need to see under, like the like the gastric system, like they have the radula, so it's like the tongue with teeth, and you use them different how do you say, like the different things for try to found that they are the new species. So first is you think maybe I have the new species, okay? So after that, you send all the information that you have to the experts. And after that, if the expert say maybe is, so you need to do other things more specific, like DNA and the internal structures.
Awesome. Really good. I think it's amazing how many nudibranchs they're still finding, all the time. They're finding new species. It's beautiful.
Yeah, actually, I am looking for because when I make my research, I got 3 new species, but you need to collect the organism because you need to make all these studies after that, no? So and you need the minimum like 5 or 6 animals. So when I make my research, I took just one organism for the new species, but it's not enough. So I need to back to the conception babe if somebody wants to come with me. We
That's
can
good.
find it, and we can, yeah, we can describe it.
Super cool. So Ro asks, can Nudibranchs see?
They cannot see, so they use all the sensory structure, like rhinophores, no, like the mantle. So they cannot see. They have like the how do you say, like super. They ocelos is in Spanish, but yeah, they don't have eyes. So is there a reason? I don't know if you sometimes see some nudibranchs, and if you put the merge your hand or something like that, they reaction because they are more like sensorial. They don't see, but they can feel it.
They can feel it. That's amazing. Really incredible. Cool. So Sue asks, how long does it take for a nudibranch to lay eggs, and how long do the eggs take to hatch?
Okay. But depend the different facts. So the temperature for the water, what species is, because some species eat the animals that you can find all the time, but another species eat the food. Their food is seasonally. So depend of the different factors. Is the how much time they need for hatching, how much time to need for they live. But definitely when the temperature change, I mean, the environment put some pressure in them, and they hatching. For example, you can make when I study, we make the experiment when you increase the temperature for the water in some when we make the experiment with the urchins, and when we increase the temperature for the water in the place that urchins are, and they put the egg mass, no? So depend the factor, the environment factors is the how long.
Okay, awesome. Perfect. So Christina says, wow, I love them. Do you see any chance to organize a trip to search for nudies in Baja or in the Caribbean?
Yes, I will love it. So my new project is about that. So I will involve the divers, the macro lovers, because we can go, we can find the nudibranchs, they can have the good pictures, and I can have some interesting data for the science. So I would love to involve more the people, and they can help for the science, no? So definitely, yes, Christina, thank you for asking.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good expedition to me. I want to come.
Yes, please, let's go. Let's go to that.
So Jose asks, thank you for your great presentation. Do you have any idea if all or certain species of nudibranchs are threatened? And what are their greatest threats in the ocean?
Okay, do you have any idea if
like, are any of them endangered or like facing like other threats?
I don't know, but definitely they are very sensitive, and we can, if it's nudibranchs around the area, is the good signal for means the environment is health, because remember, healthy. So because they are like the marks healthier, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, but it's not, I don't know really, if I am honest, I don't know if they are in thread or something like that. I never read some about that. I just read they are healthy marks for the environment.
I think it would be hard to tell too, like, because I mean, it's not like, say, sharks, where you have a bit way better, you know, ideas of how to collect the data, get the data on how many there are in an area. With something so small, you know, in a lot of the cases, it must be really difficult to estimate how big the population is, you know, like whether there's 20 or a million, you know.
Yeah, and we can know more about the richness, no, like the different species that you have, but they are like, yeah, like the other animals. Some they are prefer the tropical waters, the other prefer like temperate water. Sometimes is a very interesting research, like that you can see the some species they can mix, no, like the in the actually is the reason that I told you, like the we can know everywhere. So but sometimes we can know like the some species they just distributed in California, for example, now maybe distributed in Costa Rica or something like that. So the extensions of the distribution is really, really interesting. And we can know some, like how they can, how do you say, like how can they travel, no? Because remember, they are like planktonic larvae, and they can travel. And when they find the good, when the environment tells you like that, yeah, here is good for you, they go to the floor and they grew up, no? So, yeah.
Really interesting. So Maria asks, in your experience, what is the best time of the year to find nudibranchs?
Everywhere. Everywhere and every time. So, no, really, I think they love more like the, how do you say, like cold, not cold water, but like warming. They
Like
don't like a lot of, yeah, like template, no?
Temperate, yeah.
Temperate, thank you. So, but depend where you are is the best season or the best time. For example, and depend the what yeah, depend the what nudibranchs you are looking for. So, but definitely, for example, here in La Paz, the best season, okay, it's complicated because sometimes in the year I found some species, and the other time in the year I found the other, no? So I cannot find it all the year, all the species. So they are seasonally. So it's a little bit hard to say what is the best time.
I find that here in Cabo too. I think it's pretty amazing because you'll have like a couple months where you have like a bloom of a lot of one species, and then all of a sudden they disappear, and then a little bit later then it's a whole nother species and they're everywhere again. There's not many species that we see all year, you know. It's always like one part of the year, one part of the year, one part of the year. Really cool.
Yeah, but for example, some sea slugs, they eat algae, no? And algae normally are seasonally. So sometimes you can find a lot of sea slugs because it's the food over there. So like remember, you can find it in the food, over the food, above the food, no? So if the food is not over there, you cannot find them. So yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Perfect. So Myrtle says, thank you for the presentation. Can you tell us how you differentiate a sea slug from a nudibranch? How do you tell the difference between the two?
Okay, this is easy. So, okay, depend the group, but the the difference is the nudibranchs, they lose the shell. And sea slugs, some of them have shell internal, or they have shell external, but it's really, really, really thick. But this is the biggest difference, no? The other is the gill, so the branchia. The nudibranchs, they have the branchia really, really like flower. I mean, it's other, it's hard. But the big difference is they lose the shell. They don't have shell in any stage of their life. The others have external, very thick, or internal sometimes. And it's really common to confuse, like when I put in my picture, no, the Mexican dancer. So a lot of people think like I found Nudibranch, and it's okay, it's not the Nudibranch, it's the sea slug, so it looks like same. So they have the rhinophores is the different too. So the Nudibranchs have the rhinophore with more arrangement, like more with more structures, and the other groups normally they have like very simple, no? Yeah, so if you have the chance to see the identify guys, the file guys for the sea slug, they can explain you maybe more, because it's some groups have like looks like nudibranchs, but for these things is not. And the other is they looks like nudibranchs, but if you see the rhinophores, you can notice that they is the sea slug, is not the nudibranch. So, but yeah, definitely the difference is that they lose the shell. So the nudibranchs never have in their life the shell.
Awesome. Perfect. So Christine asks, can nudibranchs disguise themselves like octopus? And also, if it comes the pass for cancer research, do you think that it will endanger certain species of nudibranchs if they start to use them for like cancer cures or remedies?
And if come a pass for cancer research, do you think it will enter? Okay, so for example, I read it's in the USA and in China, they make like the sea culture for them. So it's not that they don't took it for the environment. They make all the cycle of life. I mean, like they reproduce them for make that, because imagine it's a little bit, sometimes it's a little bit hard to find them. So you need to open really, really good your eyes, or maybe know where you can find them. So I mean, training your eye, because they are not that, some of them, they are not that easy to find them. So yeah, but and distinguish, there's some like the octopus. So Nudibrand distinguish. Yeah, they are different to the octopus.
I think the question is more is like, do they change colors in camouflage like an octopus can, or do they stay one color?
No, they just but the nudibranchs don't have it. But some sea slugs have like the same potential, like the like the ink, the expulsion, the ink, like ink, no? But the sea slugs, not the nudibranchs. Okay, yeah, but they cannot change the color and camouflage like the squids or like the octopus or like the the others. No, they don't.
Awesome. So Rennie asks, could you tell us a little bit more details about the artificial environment that you built where for the nudibranchs that you were able to identify these new species?
Yes. So these structures actually is the name is nested nets. Okay, nested boxes, sorry. And normally they use for the oysters, or the sea culture for oysters. So when I make my research, I make it with another in combination with other research. No, the other research is recruitment, all the biofouling. So when I go with these guys, I founded a sea slugs, and I think why I'm not use these two for try to find what nudibranchs I can find, or I mean sea slug, because my study is more than just nudibranchs. It's the sea slugs for Conception Bay. So, and yeah, it's they use it for for sea culture for oysters.
Awesome. Really interesting. Going on to that, Yamila asks if we could use that same structure, that concept, to increase the population of nudibranchs.
Yeah. It's hard to know because we don't have more research about that. And for example, this structure is a plastic structure. So maybe we can build in the other kind of substrate with other kind of substrate or something like that. But this, yeah, for example, these structures, just we put 1 month, take out and check what we have and cleaning, no? And then we put again, and the next month going again and make the same. And at the end of for my research, we take out of the ocean, because if not, sometimes with the here in La Paz, here in Baja, sometimes it's the hurricanes. I mean, when we make, in the year that when we make our research, we lost some blocks, no, some boxes. So I don't recommend that use this kind of substrate for put and try to make the new reef. I prefer use another substrate.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Perfect. So Jose Luis, he asks 2 questions. He says, do you know what type of nudibranchs we can find in Bahía de Banderas?
Bahía de Banderas, Mexico.
Yep. And do you have any papers or books you've published that you could share with us?
Okay. So thank you, Jose Luis. So yeah, it's a very famous study in Bahía de Banderas. You can try to find this book. It's really good. It's the Mexican, like the Opisto branch. I mean, Opisto branch means the sea slugs from Mexico, okay? I don't know, maybe you can see good? Okay.
Yeah.
So you can find tons of them. It's really, really a good place for find it. And okay, I have some papers or books. I don't have books. I have one paper for but it's in how do you say, like it's not yet published yet, because it's in their expertise is how do you say, like
being reviewed.
Yeah, in review. It's in review. Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, you have to let us know when it comes out so we can share it with everybody.
Thank you.
Cool. So Heather asks, what's your favorite species of nudibranch?
What is my favorite? Oh my goodness. It's very hard to say, because I never been in Indonesia or in Indo-Pacific, and I don't know. So I think I love all of them. They are super cool, super colorful. I think when hopefully I can go to the Indonesia or yeah, to Indo-Pacific, and I think I need to put my rope with something, because I will open my mouth all the time for now, like dreaming with that. So actually I don't have the one favorite, but I can tell you what is my first Nudibrand that I saw in my life, and is the reason why I'm falling in love of them. And the name is Doriprismatica sedna. And I put in my presentation. I don't know if I can put again. Let me see. Okay, maybe yes.
Yeah.
So is the white with the edge with yellow and red, and the branch red. Awesome. Is the Doriprismatica sedna. And this is my first Nudibranch in my life.
Oh, that's awesome. Perfect. So Christina says, thank you for the great presentation. It's very interesting.
Thank you.
How many species have you discovered so far, and how do you come up with the names when you find a new species?
Okay, so I just find it two. I hope I can find more. And how many species? I know, sorry. And what is the other?
How do you come up with the name for the new species?
Okay, okay. Yeah, for example, depend. If the scientific name have two parts, the genera and the species, okay? So the genera sometimes, not right now, normally, you find the Nudibranch, and they are in some genera. So you can put the name of the species, okay? So, and the species, you can name it, like, for example, for the area that you find it, for the colors, no, something tell about the color, for example, or you can name it in honor of somebody, like me. One of them is in honor of my mom, and the other is in honor for my dad. So, but definitely, you never name it like your name or something like that. It's super like egocentric, yeah, or like selfish. So,
well,
yeah.
If you ever need a name, you can just name them Ninja for us.
Right, yeah, if we find one, we can put Ninja.
There we go.
Ninja Doris.
Ninja Doris, perfect.
But definitely always, for example, you put the name, for example, if we name it Ninja, we need to Latinize it, or like, yeah, means like ninjae.
Ninjae.
No? Yeah.
We gotta figure out what they used to call ninjas back in the times of Latin and speak. Awesome. So Heather asks, she says, I've worked in aquariums before that have nudibranchs, and they seem to lay eggs really often. Are they all fertilized, or are some of the eggs infertile?
Sometimes they can put the infertile eggs because they put the eggs for stress. And yeah, sometimes that's happened. It's a reaction for the animal because they are stressed. I will, for example, I like the aquariums because I recommended don't have nudibranchs in your aquariums. They are really, really specialized animals. So you can know, how do you say, like the maintain in life in your aquarium, because even if you have the sponge, they eat. When you cook the sponge take out all the chemicals things, and maybe they can die? No, kill all the animals in your aquarium. And the nudibranchs will be died too, because they don't like it like that. So they are like picky, no? They are eat the specific prey, they specific, like, yeah, they are picky. So sometimes you can find like okay, this nudibranch eat a sponge, but they eat maybe just 2 different species of a sponge, no more. The other is maybe they eat anemones, but they just eat one of them. So it's not recommend to have them. I mean, they are very beautiful and will be attractive for a lot of people, but it's not recommended.
No, I hear you there, especially with something that's so specialized. You know, and their feeding, their everything is so specific. You know, it must be really hard to even keep them. You know, and have like a comfortable state.
Yeah.
Cool. So Arturo says, he asks, in your experience, have you seen more or less nudibranchs with the current environmental changes?
Actually, I don't see the difference right now here in my around La Paz. definitely I noticed in the one reef, it's like I call like Nudibrand reef because in everywhere is the Nudibranchs, and they normally two different species. And but no, I don't see I don't see the difference.
Okay, no problem. And he asks the second question. He says, do you have any recommendations of what people can do to take care of nudibranchs, like to make sure that they stay healthy and keep in the ocean?
Yes, don't touch it. No, they are very, very, how do you say, like fragile. Yeah, they are very fragile. So some people try to manipulate and you can damage. So don't touch it, please. Don't. I mean, like if you saw in my presentation, I put like don't make this at home because we are making science. So in my pictures, in my presentation, I put some manipulating, but it's because just for research. So I mean, like please, if you want to take care, don't touch it. And another is, my favorite thing is when you are diving or when you go into the water, please have neutral buoyancy, because sometimes you kick with your fins or you stand up in the rocks and you think like it's just the rocks, but maybe it's some microorganism or micro animal in over there, no? Like the micro, sorry. So, but the tiny animals. So when you go into the water, please maintain floating or in neutral buoyancy. Remember, it's like when maybe you are super excited, for example, no, here in La Paz, in Los Islotes, I saw a lot of people super excited with the sea lions because they are super cool. But sometimes they stand up in the rocks or in the bottom, and it's a lot of animals living over there. So take care with that. Please maintain in neutral buoyancy is the best thing that you can do it.
Awesome. Great recommendation. So Juliana asks, how long do nudibranchs live?
Okay, so it's hard to know, but the studies say some nudibranchs are seasonally. So some lives like year and a half, no more. The others live just like the half of the year, 6 months more or less. So, but it's hard to know because we cannot, for example, we cannot put in the aquarium because they are super picky, no, for your food. So we cannot put the mark and follow for I mean, like the sharks or like the whales, no, we cannot put the some satellite mark and follow them. So it's hard to know, but the experts say that they can live like no more than a year and a half. But yeah, so remember when the water temperature change, maybe they died or they put the eggs and died. So it's more or less like they are like the long olders or something like that.
Awesome. So we wrote one from, actually not a question, but William said there's a really good book by New World Publications that's easy to get on Amazon called Nudibranch and Sea Slug Identification. So thanks, William. Thanks for sharing that with us. Then we have, okay, Maria asks, do nudibranchs have any predators?
Yes, bueno, okay. They have predators. We know that some fishes can eat them, but some fishes they not. It's a really famous video in internet. There is the one fish tried to eat one nudibranch and drop it because because the taste is maybe bad, or is the taste is bad. So we know the other nudibranchs or the other sea slugs is nudibranch, so it's the carnivorous. So, and sometimes some crabs, some sea stars, but yeah, it's more or less like the predators that we know. Who eats them? So, for example, the nudibranchs, they are super, how to say, like movie horror. Like they put all the the max and swallow, no? So yeah.
I've seen that a couple times before with the sea tigers here in Cabo. It is a very, if it wasn't so small, it would be a very scary thing to see. The way that their mouth comes out to just pull them in, like pull the other nudibranch in and eat it is, if it was a bigger animal, it would definitely be like something you'd have nightmares about.
Yeah, it's like the movie, like the Predator. How do you say, Michael? The Predator?
Yeah, Predator.
Predator, yeah. So the other things, the guys who say the identification book, I will recommend to. I have in my phone. So it's the app, and the app. Let me try to show you. And the app you can put in which area you live, or maybe you can find it like for example, in Australia, in Indonesia, in Pacific, no? So let me find it, and so for example, this is mine is the Pacific. I don't know how can I send this to.
If you say it, I can type it into the chat if you want.
But is Nudibranch ID? Oops.
Oh, cool.
But mine is for the Pacific Eastern, but I know that you can have the Australia, and the other parts in the world, no? But it's really cool because you can go diving, and when you finish your dive, you can, in the surface time, no? If you see something, you can see what species you saw it. So it's really cool.
I'm gonna get that one. I didn't know they had an app for that now. We got apps for everything. It's amazing.
I am super geek with the Nudibranchs. I have all, I can do it.
So Leah asks, can nudibranchs harm us if we touch them? Do they have poisons that can harm humans, or can injure us or hurt us?
Yes, yes, don't touch it. No, but don't touch it, please. They are not poisonous for us. Yeah, I joke with all my divers, no, like yes, they are very venomous, so don't touch it, don't just see it, just take the picture. So remember, no, it's just we want to do, just want to have the picture or something like that. Don't touch it, don't, don't manipulate them.
Awesome. One more question from Juliana. She asks, why are nudibranch species that you can see in Indonesia much bigger than the same species if you see it somewhere else?
About the same species. Okay, no, they try to say no, is there some species look like same like in other places, but is not, looks like same like my picture when I told you like maybe for the colors you think like is the same species, but it's not. So maybe it's the same genera, but it's not the same species. And definitely in the Ecuador, I mean in the tropical waters, the animals, they are more colorful, but sometimes the size is not that big than in other places. For example, is a really, really good example, like the anemones you can find a lot of them colorful in the tropics, but in the when you go into the pools, I mean, to the cold waters, they are not that colorful, but they are really big. No, like they have sometimes a pastel colors, but they are super big. So it's kind of like the same in all the animals. So I think you can find the different species, like for example, in the Pacific, like in the Pacific Eastern, in Indonesia, and the size, I don't think is the difference. So yeah. I think just it's more colorful, but no, it's not a lot of difference for the size.
All right. So we got one last question from Adrian. I asked, can nudibranchs from one kind of species mate with a nudibranch of a different species to create like crossbreeds or hybrids or anything?
Yeah. Actually, I don't know. I just know the Nudibranch. They are hermaphrodites. So, and they can, I mean, but it's not the one male and one female. At the same time, they can, how do you say, like, they can fertilize, like they
fertilize.
Yeah. But awesome. I don't know about if we have hybrids or something like that. And I don't know some studies about in laboratory for that too.
That'd be really interesting. Get crazy hybrids of like flabellinas and dorids and stuff.
Imagine.
That'd be crazy. So one last question from Leah. She asks, are there any nudibranchs that are hazardous to the reef, like say a crown of thorns starfish?
Okay, no, I don't have that information too, so I don't think so, because I mean, they are carnivorous, but just the specific prey. Maybe we need to, if, for example, I imagine like maybe if some nudibranch from Japan come to La Paz and live here, and they have more potential and they are more successful for reproduction, for the reproduction here, maybe this species take out the other species for the environment, and maybe it's bad, but we don't have that study. So the Nudibrand information is not done, how do you say, it's new. I mean, we need more researchers about them. No, so, but no, I don't know about they are like displace the other animals.
All right. There we go. Somebody needs looking to get into marine biology. We've got a perfect place to start. You can get into some nudibranch research.
Absolutely, yeah. You have a lot of opportunities. And
that's awesome.
And for new, I mean, you don't need to be my biologist for find the new species. And yeah, so if you find it, took the nice picture, send to the experts, and after that, if the experts say, oh, we never see that, maybe it's a new species, and we collecting and make all the things that I did for the new species.
Awesome. Well, that's all the questions we have. Thank you so much for joining us today. There's lots of questions this morning. Thank you. It was great to have you here. It's been awesome. Thank you for everybody tuning in today. Tomorrow we're back with Blackwater diving with Richard Barnon. This afternoon too, actually in 30 minutes, Dive Ninjas has a intro to ocean conservation course starting for anyone that wants to jump on that. I think there's a couple spots available still. But otherwise, we'll see you all tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Afe, thank you so much. Hopefully we get to go diving soon and go find some nudibranchs.
Yes, please. I will do. I want to go to Cabo.
Yeah, come down. We got to go out.
When the quarantine finishes, we can do it something awesome.
Sounds good. We're going on a Nudibranch expedition when it finishes.
Thank you for inviting me, and thank you for having me here.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, thank you for joining us. It's been great. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in today. We'll see you tomorrow morning. So have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay safe
Happy
out there,
bubbles, ninjas.
Happy bubbles. We'll see you soon. Thank you. Take care.
You too.